On an old abandoned airfield, mighty craft of days gone by, stand a challenge to the future, on the land as in the sky. Time goes by, and as it passes, knowledge grows and standards rise, and the new in engineering must be proven, must be tried. So on this abandoned airfield comes the final, toughest test. Here the finest come to battle, and the victories to the best.
Yes, victory to the best, for only the best here at Sebring. This twisting 5-mile course is the biggest challenge to sports cars on the American continent. Conditions equal to the toughest road race, with twisting left and right turns, are reproduced on this airport. If you want to prove your car, this is the course that can do it, in the toughest 12 hours in international competition. Each year, 65 of the finest cars made anywhere in the world come to Sebring by invitation only for testing before the eyes of thousands. Jaguar of England is represented by a team of 4 special D-type racing cars. The Maserati factory of Italy has entered 4 cars of new and advanced design. Ferrari of Italy has countered with 4 machines more than 400 horsepower each. An abandoned hangar on the Sebring course houses the American-made entries. A team made up of 4 Corvettes, now getting final adjustments. Corvette number 2 has been modified to improve high-speed handling. Corvette number 1, a new machine from the ground up, is as yet untested. There's been time for only limited practice. The real test will be the race itself. The production Corvettes are rolled to the pit area as practice ends, to wait for the 12 hours that will pack 1,000 miles into a half a day. Into a half a day. Race day. Rolling to the starting line for the longest race in the United States. Only a few minutes to 0 hour. The cars are lined up in front of the pit area. Using a Le Mans type start, the drivers will stand facing their machines. On the signal, they will dash to the cars, start them, then roar away in a scramble for the first lap position. The countdown begins. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's the gun, and the drivers dash to their cars. The first flight is on its way and under the bridge for the beginning of 12 long hours. First part of the course on the airport runways and heading for the road portion, Peter Collins in number 11 Ferrari winging away. Through the 2-mile road section and winding back to the airport, the Ferraris are holding the first 4 positions. Corvette number 1 is 6th. Here they come into the mile-long airport straightaway. Of lap 1, and Collins Ferrari still in front, but closing in fast in 4th position is Jean Beira in number 19 Maserati. Beira, a French driving ace, is co-driver with world champion Juan Fangio. Number 19, Beira's Maserati, driving to a showdown with Collins' leading Ferrari. The American Corvette now fifth. Beira sends his Maserati screaming after the leader as they come past the pit. The experimental Corvette is running fourth. Collins' Ferrari still leading, but number 19 is closing in. As the leaders roar past the pit area, Beira takes the lead. Hour after hour, the terrific pounding of the 65 men and machines continues at record-shattering pace. The 65 becomes 60, then 55, as drivers and cars strain the limits of endurance. Sebring's music is the scream of engines on the straightaways, the shriek of tires in the turns. Jean Beira, leading the pack in number 19 Maserati, heads for the pits. In 3 hours, a complete set of tires is worn out and must be replaced. Ready to relieve Beira at the wheel, 4-time world champion Juan Fangio waits. The crew is done. Fangio ready for his 3 hours at the wheel. 3 hours that will carry him over 250 nightmare miles. Fangio in number 19 holds the lead. Ferrari number 14 is second, and Sterling Moss in a Maserati fights it out with Corvette number 4. The Corvette teammate, number 3, eases into the pits for servicing and fuel. International rules require that the driver leave his car before the pit crew begins work. The Corvette is away, holding position, ready for the long afternoon. The hours are marked by the growing record of completed laps, pit stops, driver changes, exhaustion. Sterling Moss, driving second-ranking Maserati number 20, is anxious to be away. Of the 4-car Maserati team, only 2 are still running, number 20 and number 19, the leader, with Beira again behind the wheel. Here's Sterling Moss rounding a corner. Look out! There's a display of car control by a world-famous ace. Through the long twilight hours, Beira at the wheel of number 19 sets the pace. 650 miles behind them and roaring for 1,000. 65 began the struggle. 20 have already yielded to the challenge of Sebring. The Jaguar team has been cut in half. Only 2 Ferrari entries are still running. Number 1 Corvette has been retired because of a worn rear suspension bushing, but the 3 remaining entries keep to a blistering pace. To race. A ton of metal screaming down the straightaways at 140 miles an hour with only the light of headlamps to guide them. 3 hours to race, and Beira brings number 19 to the last scheduled pit stop and driver change. Again, the car is ready to continue the brutal grind. Beira has been a brilliant co-driver, setting a new course record of 92 miles an hour. Now, the weary champion, Juan Fangio, prepares once more to take the wheel as the toughest 3 hours, the final 3 hours, lie ahead. The crew is done. It's up to the cars and the men. Panjo and Moss leading in Maseratis. Hawthorne in Jaguar is third. The tension in the Maserati pits is terrific. The checkered flag for Juan Panjo. Fireworks mark the end of the 12 hours as the crowd gathers to honor Juan Panjo and co-driver Jean Beira. 45-year-old Panjo is the wonder of the sports world, a legend in his time. Four-time world champion, now twice victor over Sebring's grueling course. These two men covered the amazing distance of 1,024 miles to set a new record in Sebring's 12 hours. In the pits, the crowd honors the cars that roared 1,000 miles in half a day to win first and second place in their class.